You have entered the Plumbing Business Success Zone, teaching entrepreneurs the business of plumbing. This is Potty Talk Live, recorded live on Facebook every week. Type 5 in the comments to subscribe to the show. And now your host, Richard Behney, the $1 Million Plumber.
Hey, plumbing pros, welcome to the 249th episode of Potty Talk Live. Hey there, I'm your host, Richard Behney, the $1 Million Plumber, where I'm taking it into the trenches, the crawl spaces, basements, kitchens, and baths, all around this big, beautiful world of ours, talking the business of plumbing. Hey, we're going to be talking a foundational issue on today's episode of Potty Talk Live, all right? Your right price, your hourly rate, all right? Do you struggle trying to figure out your hourly rate? Or are you saying things like, I can't charge that? Okay, that's the biggie. I can't charge that. Have you ever heard that, sweetheart?
Never.
You know, I can't charge that. Well, we're going to talk about that because you can charge that. But I'm going to show you exactly how to figure out your hourly rate. All right, so we'll get to it here. Hey, it's great to have you on board here. Hey, if you're watching live, type live in the comments. If you're watching the replay, type replay. And if you're listening to the podcast, you know what to do. Just keep on listening. TK is watching live in the house. Had a great time with you, brother. Hey, thank you for taking the time to hang out with us at the Wet Show. Really enjoyed getting to know you. Cool cat there. All right. Hey, yeah, we had the Wet Show here in Indy this past end of the week. I know,
water,
the Wet Show.
Work,
okay.
Equipment.
They had a bunch of stuff there. Okay, they had a bunch of stuff. A lot of plumbing guys there. All right. Hey, Works Plumbing's in the house. Had a great time with Margaret and Patrick Basinga.
Power couple out of San Francisco.
They are a power couple. Hung out a lot. Really enjoy getting to know them. And just, these also are, our clients. And the strange thing is, there's that professional relationship.
Right.
But it's so cool to also be friends. So I could truly say that I enjoy our professional relationship. But I think we have a friendship that's going to last even way beyond any professional relationship. So really had a good time. Good having you. Hey, Ricky, good to have you here watching live. How you doing, brother?
Ricky, where you out of?
Yeah, where you out of, Ricky?
I don't know if I recognize your name.
Yeah, let us know where you're out of.
And Kyle, where are you out of?
Good to have you on board here. Okay.
John Graham out of Jackson, Wyoming. Got to have dinner with him.
Had a good time. So I sat right next to John.
Crazy, those boss people.
Hey, they are crazy,
Holy.
But they're also good folks here. Yeah, we got, in fact, they took us out to dinner. The lovely Laura took us out to dinner. We closed the place out. I mean, it was packed. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if it was just because of, just the adult beverages and stuff that we're passing around. All of a sudden, we're the only ones there.
Only ones.
And the staff is just kind of standing around. Okay.
I think they would walk by and go, "Get out."
Get out. I think they were whispering, some things here. But hey, we had a great time. Tom Shell, Doc Shell, good to see you, brother. We miss you too, bud.
You too, brother.
All right.
Good to see you.
But man, we had a great time. It was just really fun.
We did.
And a beautiful weekend.
Beautiful in Indiana.
Burleson, Texas.
All
right, Texas.
The
Republic of Texas. Good to have you on board here, Kyle.
Yeah.
All right. Works. The feeling is mutual. We had a good time.
Good time. Let's see what Ricky said. Oh, that's right. He's out of Missouri. Saw you with Mr. Benton.
Yeah.
Wow,
okay, Ricky. There we go. I'm putting it together here. All right. Thanks for saying hi, brother. Yep.
We got Sam Ivy. Sam out of Athens, Georgia.
Athens, Georgia. All right, brother. Good to have you on board here. Hey, we're going to be talking some hourly rate here. And what you're worth. Yep. John, we did close it. Yeah, we did.
Out for sure.
I think they were this close to just kicking us out. Calling the law or something. Hey, it was crazy. The place was packed.
Hey, Alex was in.
Hey, Alex. Good to see you, man.
A lot of plumbers in town. And the place that we went to was...
like one of those Brazilian steakhouses.
Where they come and slice meat off, right? Hey, Carmen.
Yeah. As long as you have your little thing up there that says keep bringing it, man. They
just kept bringing in meat. It got a little crazy.
I think we had the drink thing up because they kept bringing drinks. I don't know.
The place was packed with plumbers. Packed with plumbers. All eating meat. It was crazy.
Right. I mean, it was crazy. And then all of a sudden,
yes.
They couldn't, they didn't have the staying power that the Sky Boss and the $1 Million Plumber crew had.
No, they did not. No,
so we closed the place out. That was a good time. Really had a good time. So,
If you didn't make it to the wet show, make it next year. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, hey, it's good to go to those kinds of things. You know, even if you don't buy anything. Like I think Patrick, they bought some stuff. There's some guys that bought stuff or whatever. Okay, but hey, it's not so much about buying the stuff, which is it's a good place. They usually have good deals, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But just to be around others, and you know, this is your trade, this is your industry. So you want to be around others to see what's going on.
Right.
You know, kind of get a lay of the land, what's new. You know, all kinds of cool stuff. Be around others who are working on growing their plumbing businesses. Hello,
Refugio? Is that
Refugio.
right?
Did we get that right?
Marquez. At least
all right.
I think we can do the last name.
There we go. Where you out of, brother? Let us know where you're out of. Good to have you on board here.
Good to have you here.
Okay.
So wet show, a lot of fun. Make it next year if you didn't make it. Just go to those things and be around people. Okay. All right.
My mouth's hurt. I got my teeth cleaned today. Literally just a few hours, just a couple hours ago, okay? And they numb your mouth. It was one of those deep cleanings, okay? I mean, I guess, I didn't think it was that bad. Are my teeth whiter?
They're gorgeous, honey. They're gorgeous.
All right, but they actually go into shots, you know, and I stiffen up, you know, up with, I mean, they go in, I mean, if I got 4 different shots, just, I mean, it's that powerful where they really clean your gums and all that kind of stuff. So up to really just about maybe a half hour ago, my mouth was like, I couldn't drink, you know, it'd be spilling out.
What is that movie where it's Tim Allen and he's like had some lip work done or something? And
Christmas with the Cranks?
That was
whatever,
it.
Yeah,
and he's trying to drink or eat something. It's falling
That's what I felt like.
That's kind of what it was like.
But I think it's going now my mouth is just getting sore. They said it'd be sore. So, okay. All right. That's good.
Okay, Kyle says that first time live and catching up on the podcast app.
All right. Hey, but it's good to have you here live. Be part of the live social audience. Okay, see what's going on here. Well, it's good to watch it live because the podcast dudes, they're going to miss out on the equation here. Stuff. I'm actually going to show you how to figure. This is the secret sauce. And guys, it's this simple. Okay.
So how much does everybody have to pay for this right now?
This is free.
What?
Okay. I just decided, hey, this is the thing.
$1 million.
I was hearing the echoes of it at the What Show and talking with guys and even some of my own peeps. You know, I can't charge that. I can't. Come on. You can. All right. And so I just hate to see you guys floundering and selling yourself short. All right. And not properly serving your customer, by the way. Okay. You're sitting on this gold mine. Okay. Everyone here, all of you that are watching, okay, or listening, okay, and you own a plumbing business. All right. You're sitting on a gold mine. Literally, you're sitting on a gold mine.
Okay.
All right. And I just want to help you dig. Okay. And part of that is knowing what to charge.
Okay. So you get the flip chart out, or
I got the flip chart. Do I look fancy here?
You do.
All right. Teaching here.
And tonight we had to fly to New York, right?
Flew to New York. The studio in Tampa was they're doing we're doing some remodeling or whatever, and so we couldn't go in there. So we jumped in the MDP rocket and. Now
Came
we're in
to
New York.
Gotham, yes.
Yep. So
and Doc Shell, I think Doc Shell's still on. Look out for us in Florida, Doc. January is we have said
we're headed your way, Doc.
Headed your way.
We're headed your way.
Keep the sunshine flowing.
Though it was beautiful this weekend. We're talking about. In Indiana in February, it's like we feel bad for the people who came to the show because normally in February it's like this is the last place on earth you want to be. Okay. Charge what you're worth. Your experience matters. That's right, Brian.
Right.
Okay. We're going to get to it, but hey, there's some head trash. Okay. We get in. We're going to get into that, but I'm going to show you exactly how to charge what you're worth.
Okay.
Most guys aren't doing it right. Okay.
They're not doing it.
They're not doing it right. Okay.
And
you're saying so. I can't charge that. I do know. All right.
I know.
Made a lot of money charging what we need to charge. Okay.
Hey, before you go on, can we do something real quick? If you guys want to get notified. When the $1 Million Plumber goes live, it's really, really easy. All you have to do is tap the screen where you see Richard's face somewhere, and then there'll be 3 little dots in the upper right-hand corner. And you want to make sure you hit follow the $1 Million Plumber. And then after you do that, you got to hit the screen again, get the 3 little dots, and then turn on your live notifications.
Yep.
Just like that.
Hey, you don't want to miss it. Good stuff, guys.
Your phone will just buzz and you'll know when we're live. So do that real quick.
It is our heart to give you this stuff. Of course, I introduce other stuff. We can go deeper. I mentioned we have private clients and and we have the academy and that kind of stuff that we really go deep.
Right.
But even just to get you interested, if you're aware that you're missing something. Okay, I am giving you a lot of free content here.
Right.
Okay, and especially what we're going over tonight will certainly get you well into the ballpark. Okay, and so I just want you to know this stuff. Okay, I want you to be successful. Okay,
We do.
all right.
We do.
I hate seeing guys just out there floundering around. Okay. Oh, Tom
Thanks,
here.
Doc Shell.
All right.
You're the best.
Thank you, Tom, for the vote of confidence there.
And he says we need to do dinner when we're there. At least, hello, we're going to be living there forever.
We'll do
for the
dinner
rest
and
of our
drinks,
lives.
Tom. We'll do something with you and your lovely Laura.
That's
I hope.
right.
Okay.
We'll be doing lots of time because, of course, as Works Plumbing knows, the private jet is coming soon for the MDP. So we'll just buzz right on over to
We're working at
Port
it.
Richey, right?
Yep. Hey, the
Port
only way to get
Richey.
your private jet is if you charge what you need to be charging, what you're worth. Okay.
All right, let's hear
So
it.
let's talk about that.
Okay.
Hey, here's the thing. Hey, we all did it. Let me lay some groundwork and some reality here. And by the way, I'm going to bring it here. Okay. We're going to talk straight here. Okay. This is real stuff. I want you to be successful.
Okay.
Okay. And if you're being knocked upside the head by a certain punch or punches, okay, I got to tell you where the punches are coming from. If that hurts your feelings, tough. Okay, get out of the ring. All right. Hey, but I love you, brother. I love you, and I just want you to be successful.
Right.
Okay. So let's talk. Lay some groundwork of kind of how we do it.
Okay.
Look, and we all did it this way. We all kind of fell into plumbing and found out we were pretty good at it. We decided that instead of making that guy all the money, I'm going to make me all the money, and I'll start my own plumbing company. In so many words, that's how it happens. Okay. So we get out there and we start a little plumbing company. All right. But what we do is we get our pricing, okay, and just about 3 different ways, okay. The first method, as I call it, the price book swipe method. Okay, you become swiper.
Okay.
Anyone
Swiper,
ever
no
watch Dora?
swiping.
Dora the Explorer. Anyone have kids back in the day? Okay, Dora the
Is
Explorer.
Dora still around?
Swipey. No,
No swiper.
No swiping.
Swiper,
okay,
no
but that's what we
swiping.
do. Okay, we get. I got it. Okay. I'm gonna sneak the price book of the company I'm working for before. Okay, so I'm gonna take those prices.
Okay.
Okay, and of course I can't charge that because they're ripping people off. Okay, and I'm gonna take I'll take $50 off this, or $100 off that, or do whatever. But that just gives me the groundwork. Okay, I have no idea how those prices, where they came from and what they do. Okay. But that's what I do. Okay. So and we've all done it. Admit it.
Admit
Okay.
it. Okay.
You've done it.
Right now, everybody just throw
Okay.
yourself under the bus and admit it if you've
Okay.
done that.
Okay. Man up.
Man
All right. Man up. If you've done the price book swipe method, throw me some ones in the comments.
Yeah,
Okay.
Or just type in swipe.
Okay. All right. All right. Have the cojones
Ooh.
to admit here. Okay. We're men here. All right. Hey, we all did it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And I know you did too. I know you did. All right. Okay.
All right.
All right. Number 2, the second method is I call it the follow them over the cliff method. Okay, that's when we go around to our buddy at the other shop. What are you charging? What are you charging for a water heater?
I don't know. What are you charging?
You're at the supply counter. So what do you charge for a sump pump installation? What do you charge for? What's your hourly rate? Or we ask all these kinds of questions like they know, and if they do know, like they're going to tell you. Okay,
Guilty.
Devin, right?
says she's guilty.
All right. Hey, it takes the woman, guys.
There's more. There's some of the guys.
Okay,
Are admitting.
all right.
She was first though. 'Cause
Okay.
We're overachievers.
Don't
What
let
are you gonna
let
do?
the woman be the honest one. Okay, see that's good. Hey,
TK
okay.
says, yeah.
Yeah. We all did it.
All
Okay. All right. The swipey method. Okay. But we also do the thing of asking around. So what are you charging? What are you charging? What are you charging? Like first of all, we ask another plumber like they know, like they really know how they came up, really what they're charging for sure,
Right.
how they're figuring things out. And if it's an owner, they're not going to tell you. Who's going to tell you, okay?
Yep.
And if
They're
they do
not.
tell you, if they are telling you pretty much the truth, they don't know themselves because they did the same thing. They swiped it from someone else, okay? So that's why I call it the follow them over the cliff method, okay? And what we do is we say, I want to go first. So what you do is you run ahead of them over the cliff because you'll say, I'm going to take their price, and of course I'm going to take some money off, charge a percentage less and all that. I'll show them. I'll beat them, right?
You'll show them, all right.
Okay, all right. Hey, give me a 2 if you've done that, okay? And everyone who's watching who has cojones, okay, ought to be typing in 2 because I know you've done that too.
Well, there's a girl
Okay.
on here, and I'll bet she doesn't have cojones, but I'll bet she's brave.
I bet
How
she.
about that?
Well, she has cojones. Okay, all right. Okay. So throw me a 2. Okay. All right. So
Okay.
that's the second method, and the third method is I call it Pull it out of your arse method. Okay. All right. Pull it out of your arse method. Okay. And everyone's guilty of this one too. You walk into the place and you feel like, well, I think I can get this for this. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Devin says we're not plumbers. We're plumbers, not businessmen and women in the beginning.
Exactly.
You're so right, Devin.
Okay. We weren't
That's
trained
exactly
that. That's what I'm getting at here, guys. We weren't. We do these kinds of things. I pulled up my arse until I got coaching. Daryl, DW, thank you. Hey, we all did it. Hey, I did it. At least, Daryl, you're smarter than me, brother. I did it, and it took me 4 years, almost 4 to 5 years before I got coaching to figure out how to do just this.
Well, honey,
okay,
you can't be perfect at everything.
I know. I was a little dense. Took me a little long to just beat my head up against, why am I making any money? Why am I living paycheck to paycheck? Why, that kind of thing.
Why?
Okay, all right. But because we weren't trained as businessmen and women, we weren't. Okay, we were taught plumbing.
Sadly.
Okay, they don't teach us stuff in business school, by the way, either. You don't need to go to a fancy school because they don't teach this. All right, your accountant doesn't know this.
Right.
Okay, don't be asking your accountant for the business advice because they don't know. Okay, they just know how to add up your money and pay taxes. Okay, what the tax code is. All right, so you got to know these things. All right, and until you'll listen, until you'll till you're willing to receive information. A lot of times, I'm a little saddened sometimes because there's a lot of guys out there just don't even know. They're just walking in the dark. It's like what Forrest Gump says: "Stupid is as stupid does." They just keep beating their head up against the wall. Which I got to say, I was one of those guys. For almost 5 years. Okay, I still got the arse book. right. You're flying by the seat of your arse, okay? And that's not good, okay? When pilots do that, they wind up crashing and burning. And so will you if that's how you're flying your business, period, overall, okay?
Don't do it.
Those are the methods, okay? Which all lead to danger.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Danger, okay? That's a large reason why 95% of all plumbing businesses fail, period. Okay, and even if you are grew, I see guys out there that just are getting by, but the other stat is even sadder, that those 5% that are making it, and this is where most plumbing companies are, 97% of those live, week to week, month to month. They don't get out of the truck or they can't get away from the office. They're tied into the business because they're not charging what they need to charge. Okay, all right, they don't know how to do that. Okay, and there's a couple reasons.
No, I'm sorry. I was reeling you in. No, you go right ahead, baby.
Oh, you're reeling me in?
No.
You catch that? The love of the Lord.
Daryl is going to call me out on that. No, okay. You go, baby. You go.
The Novocaine's coming off, okay? And the drugs are kicking in. All right? All right. That and the scotch. It's like, oh, okay. Okay. It's not scotch. It's water.
It's water.
It is. Okay.
I swear.
So
I'm the one drinking this.
Okay. Hey, so what it all brings us to, so we get out there and we still hear, and so what we hear is, customers pushing back. Okay. There's a couple things happening. All right. Which leads us to feeling, because we don't know why we're charging what we're charging, and why we're doing what we're doing, we have no confidence in that. So we listen to these two lies, okay, these two voices. Number one, we have the market, okay? Our customers are pushing back. Well, guys, this is a law of the universe. God created, gravity and EM squared 2 equals whatever. All right, all these kinds of laws. Okay, one of the laws is no one wakes up in the morning and wants to call a plumber. It's a universal law. No one wakes up in the morning and wants to call a plumber.
It's a universal law.
Which also means no one wants to spend money with a plumber. No one wants to spend money with you, no matter how nice you are, how good looking you are, how fun you are, how good of a plumber you are. They don't care. Okay, no one wants to spend money with you. So yes, they're going to push back. Okay, so that's when we start. So we'll hear things like, no, I can't charge that in this market.
My market's different.
My market's different. You know how many times we hear, my market is totally different.
It's 100% different.
Mike, I can't charge that in this market. There's no way I can charge that in this market.
Are you being a little dramatic?
Yeah, because it's stupid, okay? Yeah, they'll have the big company down the street who they also say, I'm not going to charge what they're charging, but they got all the customers. They got all the trucks, okay? They're doing umpteen million a year, okay? And their owners are sitting on an island somewhere, okay? But you can't charge that because your market
with us.
With us, that's right. Right. After I finally pulled my head out of my arse and figured out, or got a coach, okay, and learned how to do this, okay, the right way. Mm-hmm. All right. So that's a huge lie that we listen to. Mm-hmm. Is anyone want to give me a thumbs up that you listen to that lie? Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me know.
Sometimes you fall into that trap.
Fall in that trap. Right? I know you do. Hey, guys, whether you want to admit that or not, we do. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if you ever,
Hey, Johnny.
I've heard it in every corner of the U.S. Okay, every corner. We can't charge that here. Right. I can't charge that. My customers won't pay that. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And it's like it's like old Henry Ford said. If you believe you can't, you're right.
No. What do you say? It's if you think you can. Or you can't.
You're right.
You're right.
That's
so powerful.
That statement
is so powerful.
It's so true. So you believing that you can't, that your market won't accept that, you're right.
You're right.
You're right. Mm-hmm. Okay. The other, and really what that leads to is a second thing that's happening. Okay, and it's this. Okay, we listen to this voice. Mm-hmm. You believe, and I say this with love, brother. I love you.
Love you, brother.
Okay, I love you. Mm-hmm. Okay, you believe you're not worth it. That's where it's at. You believe you're not worth it. Mm-hmm. Okay, you don't believe that you're worth that $300 an hour.
Right.
Okay.
Look how that came over. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of fun. I'm not sure why it's doing that. He sent a little emoji over, but it totally covered up the face.
Okay. I like that. Okay. All right.
What in the world?
All right.
How did that happen? It's okay when we get rid of it?
Yeah. Okay. I'm talking here. All right. We got Dora there with her thumbs up.
I know. It was Dora.
All right.
That was
but that's what you've done that. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. But hey, guys, and this and I say this with brotherly love and wanting you to be successful. Okay. I get it. Look, if we're plumbers, and I'm talking with you here, and I talk with guys all over the world. Okay. No matter what the odds are, really the reality is our backgrounds are very similar. We may be different races, even different religions, different countries even. Mm-hmm. But if we're in plumbing, we've come from a very similar background, and it's that blue collar worker, background, and we've been conditioned to think a certain way and feel a certain way. Okay, right. We've been conditioned to do the work. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's very deep, okay? So we bring that with us into our business, okay? And so when it comes time to charge what the business needs, we're looking at, really what we're doing is we're looking at ourselves and saying, I don't, I'm not worth that. Not worth it. Okay? Mm-hmm. Or I wouldn't pay that for that. A lot of us, that's a biggie, all right, are very budget-minded. I mean, if you shop at Costco, you think buying that truck, getting the best deal for a used truck, you do all the repairs yourself, you do the painting yourself, you do all the yard, you do everything yourself, and you buy the cheapest you can. You wouldn't pay $100 for a meal. That's absurd. Okay, those kinds of things. If you're in that state of mind when it comes to charging what you need to charge for a plumbing business to be successful, hey, the business is expensive. Right. A plumbing business is expensive. Okay, to get good help, to hire good guys is expensive. To have insurance is expensive. Right. Okay, to do those kinds of things, to have good equipment is expensive. Right. And to do that, and if you're not willing to do those things in your personal life, okay. So when it comes time to do it with a business, you look at it and say, well, I'm not worth that. Or I don't spend that kind of money like that. Right. Okay. So true. So both those things are extremely dangerous, and you got to get past those things.
Devin says plumbers need to stop undercutting each other.
Right. Hey, I never worry, guys. On that, that's a good point there. Guys, don't worry about your competition in that regard. Right. Don't worry about it. There's no undercutting, okay? If everyone's doing it right, when the customer calls you, the competition is getting the attention of the customer. Right. That's where the competition is. Yep. Do the things to have the customer call you, okay? And that's the competition. Right. But charge what you need to be charging. Customers aren't calling around with everything. They don't want to. Nope. And the reason they call someone else is because they don't trust you, okay? And they don't trust you because you're actually answering their question. how much you charge an hour. Okay,
Over the
they don't
phone?
trust you over the phone. They don't
Yep.
trust you because you're giving them time and material quotes.
Right.
Okay, they don't trust you because you're pulling up in a piece of crap truck that's been painted. Okay,
And you're smoking a cigarette
and
all
smoking
the way
a cigarette or whatever, and your shirt untucked
Stop
and those
that.
kinds of
Stop
things.
that.
They don't trust you.
Right.
Okay, so the only competition
Jeff, you are
should be
right.
getting the attention of the customer. You do that, you don't have to worry about your competition. Guys, there's plenty of work out here. There's
there
plenty
is.
of work. Okay, that's a lie.
Jeff
Okay,
says good is not cheap and cheap is not good.
amen, brother.
Amen. You should
Amen.
put that on a T-shirt, Jeff.
That would work.
That's right.
All right. So
Move on.
how do you, let's get
Okay.
to it here. Let's get to the meat, right? Okay. So how do you need to figure your own hourly rate. Okay, your hourly rate.
This is gonna be good.
You know your hourly rate, guys.
Okay.
That's the power.
Okay.
You know that. Okay, you don't need to know a whole bunch of other numbers. Okay, guys getting tied up in how much numbers and the percentage of, what's their parts to sales for percentage and the average ticket. You don't need to know that. You do need to know what you charge per hour.
Right.
Okay, and why. You know that. Okay, that's freedom. Okay.
We got like bombs going off. I don't know.
Okay.
It was just there was a few people. They're loving what you're saying, baby.
Okay.
Love it. Give
All
us
right.
some like
Okay.
bombs.
There we go. All right.
Preach it, big
So
dog.
listen up here. Okay.
Let's hear it.
I'm going to give you the equation here. All right.
This
I'm going
is
to give
like
you
the
the equation.
secret of sauces.
Okay.
Right?
All right. First of all,
Okay.
you need to
Let's hear it.
know your expenses.
Okay. Expenses.
Expenses. Okay.
Well, I hardly have any expenses because I don't have a truck payment. I fix all the repairs on my truck.
You got a ton of expenses. You got a ton of expenses. Okay.
Yeah.
You need to know your expenses, and you need to know all your expenses.
All
Can we do a little banner thing or something? There we go.
There it
Okay,
is.
guys, right
Got
there.
it, baby.
All your expenses. All your expenses. I'm going to say it one more time.
Okay.
All your expenses. Okay? Everything, not just on the job. Okay?
Right.
So you need to know if you don't have a new truck payment yet, you need to add in a truck payment because you're getting a new truck.
Yep.
Okay? So I got clients on here that we get a new truck real quick, and you'd be surprised how all of a sudden your business starts growing with a new truck. Okay?
It's
All right?
crazy.
Okay.
Jenny.
There we go.
Where you been, Jenny?
Okay, you need to know. So you got your truck. It's all your your electric bill, your phone bills. Okay, all right. It's your salary. Okay, you are both. Okay, if you had to pay someone to run the company, okay. If you had to pay someone to run the company, you'd have to pay somebody, right? If you weren't running the company, you'd have to pay somebody to run the company. So that's a salary. What would it take to get that guy? Okay, so you have your salary in there, and then you have your plumber's pay. Okay, which maybe if it's just you in a truck, then that's you. Okay, all right. You
gotta pay
have
somebody.
right.
to
You
do the
you
work,
have
right?
uniforms. Okay, you have your fuel.
And have uniforms, guys.
Okay.
Have uniforms, please. Get uniforms. They're not
Okay.
that expensive.
Chad
Uniforms,
says they've revisited their honest hourly rate calculator. He's one of our
Hey.
private clients, and also been going through the academy. What you get with the academy is the honest hourly rate calculator, where we actually run this thing, go through it, and you can spit it out. And I call it the honest hourly rate calculator
Honestly.
because it gives you your honest hourly rate. You are not being honest with your customer. Okay. In fact, you are stealing from your customer if you don't know why you're charging what you're charging. I can look you in the eye all day long and twice on Sunday and tell you you're stealing, and I choose that word purposefully. You're stealing from your customer if you don't know why you're charging what you're charging. So it's honest to the customer and it's honest to you.
Yep.
Okay? All right, you're in business. A business is meant to make money.
What?
There's nothing wrong with
not a
making
charity.
money, okay? Right.
not a hobby?
Right, it's not a hobby. You're not a charity. Well, I just want to help the community. You can't help the community
If you're poor,
if you're poor, okay?
And if you
you're
make
not
no
making
profit.
money. You got to make money.
you got to help yourself first.
Right, okay? All right, when the cabin depressurizes, you got to put the mask on first, okay? Then help the children, okay?
Exactly. Oh, wait.
Right.
Say that again, honey. That's
Right.
really good because that's a great analogy, great visual.
Right, you tell you fly and you say if the cabin depressurizes and the mask drop down,
Right.
you get yourself air first. Then you can help someone else. You can't be a hero when you're suffocating.
Right.
Okay, you can't do, and that's the same thing when you're not making money. Okay, you're not charging what you need to charge. You're suffocating. That's why you guys are working week to week.
Yep.
That's why you have a good month, and then all of a sudden, where's the money?
Fell off because you're pulling numbers out of your
Right.
arse.
We're saying, or you've been doing this for a couple of years, and you just can't get ahead. Okay.
And Refugio says, I was surprised by my new hourly rate. I'm going to assume that means he's in the Success Academy.
Are you in the Success Academy?
I guess I'm Refugio, if you don't mind sharing what your hourly rate was before and what it is now after you did your hourly rate. That would be good information, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's all your expenses.
Oh.
All your expenses, not just the job expenses. Okay. So you got to think. Okay. What do I have to pay for? Okay. I got shoelaces, and I'm serious. Okay. All right. There's fuel. Okay.
Insurance.
Okay. We got the uniforms. We got
Oil changes.
Maintenance on the vehicles, and it's your growth expenses. Okay.
Growth.
So I would tell you as your coach that you want to go to the wet show next year. All right. And you got plane tickets, and you want to stay.
You have the Hyatt.
Right. You want to stay first class with the $1 Million Plumber. Okay.
At the Conrad.
At the Conrad. All right. In a suite. Okay. And so I need $10,000. Your customers pay for that, guys.
Pay for that, guys.
Okay. That's an expense so that you can be better. At your job. Okay. Be a better company for them. Be around for them.
Okay,
all right.
This is good. Refugio, and I don't know where you're out of. Refugio, and gosh, I hope I'm saying your name right. 160, and now it's 255. Bingo.
All right, brother, you're right
you
there.
Are right on.
What's
Love it.
What's even more powerful is that you know what it is.
Right.
All right. Okay. You know something that a lot of college boys coming out of business school don't know how to do.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, guys. Okay.
Yep.
And you got to trade
Right.
that you actually make money at.
Right.
Okay.
And you have an asset.
Right.
Your own business.
Okay.
You are a CEO.
And I bet
forget
Fugio that it was costing you. We'll get to this. That it was costing you around $160 an hour to operate, and I'll show what that is. That's what we find. That's why we find out that we seems like we're living week to week, paycheck to paycheck, month to month. Have a good month, and we're down, or we just can't get ahead. Is because we're just charging right at or even less what it costs us to even operate. Okay.
Right.
All right. All our expenses. Okay.
All of them.
Then
Yes.
our expenses.
Yes.
Okay. Our expenses are going to be divided
Oh gosh, we're doing math now.
by our time. I'm not going to do the math here, but that's this is the equation, guys. Okay, so write this down. Okay, we'll come back and view this. Okay.
Refugio says
All right.
I'm saying his name right. Thank you, Refugio.
Okay. You got all your expenses divided by all your time. All your time. And I'll give you some free coaching advice here.
Okay, let's do it.
That's what you're selling.
What?
You're selling time.
Do you realize?
You ain't selling plumbing. Okay? You're selling time.
Do you guys even realize what the $1 Million Plumber just laid down?
Bam. That's
Hit rewind.
That's the secret. You're selling time. If you can get that through this, as my dad used to say, if you can get that through your gourd.
Through your thick skull.
Okay? All right? If you can get that through your gourd, that you're selling time, not plumbing.
Right.
Okay? We're growing up now. Okay? You were a plumber, and now you're growing up to a big boy, to a man.
Right.
All right? A business owner, a CEO.
As
Okay.
perfect timing, TK said CEO. He is
TK.
an eagle.
Definitely
TK
talk
is an
with.
eagle.
I love TK. I mean, I just not to embarrass TK here, but he was at the Wet Show and has been a long time viewer and is in the academy, and so we get it. That's what's so
getting
cool.
ready to
We get
graduate
got
from the
these.
academy.
We're talking back and forth, but then we get to meet face to face, and just listening to him and the way he's talking. That guy's a CEO.
Yeah, he is.
Well, he's also a Marine, which is probably that says a lot right there. That's probably why. Okay, all right,
he's
but
successful.
all right, but he has a trade. He's been in the truck. He's working out of the truck. He's getting. We're moving on, but in his head, he's a CEO. Okay, and that's what you got to think.
right,
So you
your
got to
mindset,
understand these kinds of
baby.
things. All right? Okay.
Hey, Alan said time is money.
Yes,
That is so
that's
true.
where the money is. You're
Guys.
selling. There's a reason why I know there's a reason why that saying is a saying. Time is money. They're not saying that iPhones are the money, okay, or the hamburger is the money, or the shoe is the money, okay. There we-
Refugio says that 160 was barely enough to break even. I know that now. Thank you, Refugio, for being totally
being transparent.
for
Okay.
being transparent, and it is eye-opening, and we hear that all the time from members in the academy, and certainly our private coaching clients. And Tom even said it just a few seconds ago. He was shocked And Tom's been around. Tom is no.
Oh, he's already been successful.
It's Duck Shell.
Right.
And he was shocked. So
right. And you can see how you can be successful, but not. What I want you not just to be successful. I want you to feel secure, in control, and powerful. Okay.
Yep.
And by knowing this thing, okay, and these kinds of things, that's what will make you in control and powerful. That's you'll walk in the room like you know something. You ever see, how does a Donald Trump walk into the room like he knows something? Whether you like him or not, doesn't matter. He walks in like he knows something that you don't know. What? He knows what he's selling. Time. He knows these kinds of things.
And he knows his worth, right?
Okay, right. And so you can too. And that's the fun, guys. Okay, that's the freedom. That's what we're all about here, freedom. All right. So you're going to figure out all your time, not just the time on the job.
Right.
Okay, but guys, while you're working on this stuff back in the office.
Right.
Okay, while you're having to clean the truck. I mean, you have so many hours. Okay, that your company has to sell. Okay.
You do have so many hours.
Okay. All right. It's not about the plumbing.
Duck Shell.
Okay. It's nothing about the plumbing. I know that sounds or plumbing. No, you're not. Well, no, you're not. Okay. You're making money. Okay. Just so happens we're doing it by plumbing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so it's not about plumbing. All right.
It's not
expenses
about
divided by all your time.
All
and then what that's going to give you. Okay. All right, it's going to give you her.
Her.
Aw,
that's so
the other
nice.
woman. Okay, no. All right. Your hourly. Okay, your hourly expense rate.
Hourly expense.
Okay,
rates.
what it costs you an hour to operate. Frugio just said it was about $160 an hour. That's what it was costing him to operate, but that's what he was charging. So that means every hour, whether you're on a job or not. Okay.
Yep. Matt Carter, being very transparent, his hourly rate went from $90 to $244, thanks to Richard and his honest hourly rate calculator. And Matt, I think you would admit that you didn't lose all your customers. They didn't say, "Forget it, I'm never using Carter Plumbing again." Right?
Nope.
There more than likely wasn't a hiccup. Hear it all the time.
All right. And
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. So
Appreciate
it gives you. You get this. This is going to give you your hourly expense rate. What it costs you an hour, and I do this. People get so mad because time is just ticking. It don't stop. So whether you're sitting there, whether you're selling anything, whether you're doing anything or not, it's costing Frugio $160 an hour. Okay, all right. I found out I was charging back in the day when I did this $125 an hour.
Right.
And I thought, man, I was at least pushing it. Okay.
Yep.
Turns out it was costing me $145 an hour.
What does Homer say?
Right. So that's why, and so you get the big job and you get some cash in and you pay some things off, but you never can stay ahead. That's why. Okay. Right. Most people's hourly rate are way too low. Okay. Definitely. All right. Okay. So that's going to give you your hourly expense rate. Okay. Then with that, and that's an important number to know. Okay. That's a very important number to know. Okay. You're going to take that. Okay. And you're going to divide it by.
More math.
Okay. The profit that you want to make. Okay. So let me explain this. So you're going to divide it by the inverse. So if you want to make 10% profit, which is not enough, by the way.
Okay. And we have some questions from the audience wanting some clarification. Just so
I'll get back. We'll go back to. I'll say that.
So Robbie and Dustin,
you can divide by
questions.
you can divide it by the inverse. So if you want a 10% profit, you're going to divide by 90%. Okay, that's how the math works. Okay. What are some questions here? Is it back over here?
Yeah. Hang on one second. Let's see. Here we go. Dustin has a question. Dustin says, "Do you base it off of 8 hours?"
Good, Dustin.
Good, Dustin. Good question, Dustin.
Okay, you want to figure. This is a good one. Okay, give me some more freebies here.
Okay, and this is Robbie. Also, kind of explain time, explain time and explain the value.
Okay.
Okay. There you go.
Okay, you want to figure your time. Imagine if you were standing in front of a judge.
Okay.
Okay, and you had to explain why you're coming up with time. Okay, with the time that you're saying you're charging. Okay, so in a court of law, certainly in the U.S. court of law. All right, there's precedent, and then there's there's a social, what's kind of happening socially.
Right.
That this kind
like
of
the norm.
What's the norm? Okay, so when you want to look at the hours, this is a place where you want to do that, and you instead of being you want to stay conservative. Okay. Now you may be saying, I work 24/7. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Nor do you want to figure all your hours based on that. Okay.
Right.
How you want to do is figure out. Who asked about, is it 8 hours?
Dustin.
Yeah.
Is it based off of 8 hours?
Yeah. So, and that's a very good question, because if you had to stand in front of a judge and you figure out how many hours do you work in a day, what's a common work hour in the U.S.?
Yeah, 8 hours.
8 hours a day, right? 40 hours a week.
Right.
Okay. And so you're going to stay on the common side. You're not working. You may be working holidays, which I don't suggest, by the way. You may be working holidays, but most people in our society do not work holidays. So what holidays are there? You got to figure out how many holidays there are.
Right.
By the way, there's 6. What would be the government accepted holidays that most people get off on? I know some people that, like, banks got off on President's Day or whatever.
Right.
Most people didn't. Most everyone else worked.
Yep.
Well, what's common to the society? If you had to defend why you came up with what you came up, okay? And so you're gonna take those numbers and multiply them by you're gonna have guys on vacation.
Right.
What's the common amount of vacation starting out?
A week, a year.
A week, right? There's also now, which is new. Back in the day when we first started, it wasn't so much part of a society, but now you get sick days. I just don't feel like working days. Okay. All right.
I think they should call them snowflake days.
Snowflake days. Okay. All right. That now we're expected just kind of getting more whatever. Okay. So that may be another 5. Okay. So you're taking all those kinds of numbers times the amount of trucks. Each truck, all right, creates time. Right.
Each truck is time.
It's time to sell.
Right.
All right.
Chad has a question.
So if you're starting out with 2 trucks, you're going to take that and multiply it by 2 trucks.
Chad has a question. Chad Peters. Chad, let us know where you're out of. So you base it off of a month of expenses and hours?
Annually, both annually.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Annually. Okay. All right.
This is some good stuff, baby.
By the way, you'll see why a lot of times guys think, well, I can't charge what they charge, those big companies charge, because I'm not as big as they are.
Right.
You do this. Try plugging in 30 trucks times your expenses. Maybe add a little bit, because expenses don't grow exponentially.
Right.
Okay, they don't grow as fast as what the time that the more trucks will provide you. They'll level off. What you'll see is a big company can operate less than what you can operate having 2 trucks.
Because the more trucks you have, the more the expenses can be spread amongst the other trucks, right?
Among the trucks, more time to sell.
Right.
Right?
Just like
okay.
that.
But you will never lower your price. So as you figure this up, you never lower your price. Never. Okay.
Hey,
so mine was figured originally, I think, with 3 trucks, and I never lowered it. I wound up raising it. Okay. But you never lower your price.
Right. Yep. Hey, Alan says it costs us $75 to get our van in front of a home before we bill a single dollar. I would challenge you, Alan. I'll bet it's more than that.
I'm sure it's more than that.
Yeah.
Even if it's just you in a van,
it's more than that.
It's more than that.
Yep.
Okay.
Alan,
if you
you're
figure
part
in
of the
all your
Success Academy.
expenses.
You should be.
Okay, Alan, get in the Success Academy. There's a free trial.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it is, and I think that's a good time to say it's a free trial, and you've got the actual honest hourly rate calculator in the very first module of the Success Academy that walks you through how to figure the time, the expenses, the growth, the profit, all those things. You can just type. What is it? What are we typing? Success. Right?
Right.
Success,
Type success
in the comments.
Or go to themilliondollarplumber.com/success.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
All right?
And learn all that.
Okay. So we're back. We
Sorry,
have more
I got
questions.
you off
It's
there.
fine. Bring it, guys. Okay. This is time to add. This is important. This is important to your plumbing business. Period. All right. If I'm losing you or you're not interested, neither one of those things are good. Okay. All right.
Right. Brian says bigger companies usually have less overhead.
As it's spread out over.
as it's spread
Exactly
out. You're
right.
right,
As it's
Brian.
spread out over the trucks. That's what makes it less.
Yep.
So there's the lie. So when we're looking at, for those of you that are looking at these big companies, I can't charge that because I'm not that big.
Right.
They can charge less than you, but they're not going to.
They're not gonna.
They're not going to, and they don't have to because the customers are paying that.
Right. Because they
Okay,
know
which
how to
all will lead to
value
what we
it.
get out, right, because they believe they're worth it. Okay?
Yep.
And they know they are. Okay? And that's a huge difference here. Okay? And they know their numbers when they can beat and do different things. By knowing these numbers, like what your hourly expense rate is, okay, that's going to lead you to your HVI, which is a whole nother
here's another one.
conversation. All right. Wow.
What in the world
Okay.
is that?
All right.
Sorry.
With by knowing, when you know these kinds of numbers, then you can know how low you can go and what you can do. All right, to keep your guys busy or to get into a relationship, with a business or whatever. Okay, but you got to know this stuff. All right. So you got your hourly expense rate, which we have here, and you can divide that by the inverse of the profit you want to make. Okay, I can tell you. I'll tell you what I did. Okay, mine was 30%. Okay, look, profit's not a 4-letter word. Get over yourself.
It is not.
Profit, the free market system, profit, all right, is what feeds the world. Okay, don't get all wrapped up in buying all this BS and lies about how the rich are stealing from the poor and the poor. No, okay, it's just that's not true. Okay, it's the rich that make it possible for jobs.
Correct.
So that you are jobs for those that want to work. Okay, that does feed the poor. Okay, the nickels and dimes that people are throwing in, in the plate when it comes around doesn't do nothing.
Diddly squat.
Diddly
maybe,
squat.
is the word you're going to use.
Okay, all right. It takes wealthy business people like you. Okay.
People that are creating the economy.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So profit, you got to have a profit. Okay. This is not a hobby. If you're not making money, all right, you got a hobby, and there's better things to do. Okay.
There's better.
All right.
Better than that.
Okay. So you make a profit, and profit can be whatever you want it to be. You can do 100% profit if you believe in it. You can do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
There's no law. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Okay, just provide the customer what you say you're going to provide. All right.
It's true.
So it can be whatever you want. It has to make rational sense to you. Okay, and to me, here's what I did. Okay,
What'd you do, baby?
In fact, it was 35%. Because
35%
we had
profit.
35% profit for a service business in the U.S. A minimum of 10% profit for a service business you can run is good. You're running securely. Okay, if you can at least have 10%.
Right.
Okay, you want more, but at least 10%. All right. I threw because in Indiana it always seemed like we paid taxes.
Stupid taxes.
I mean state taxes. If we could get with the federal government and the stuff we were doing and writing things off, I was always being hit up at the state. And so I figured up a number. And who pays your taxes, by the way? For my clients. Okay.
Oh, I gave it away.
All right. Who pays the taxes?
Yep.
Who pays your taxes? Your customers. Customers pay your taxes. Okay. All right. So I added another 10%.
There it was.
Okay. All right. Then I added another 15%.
Value plus trust equals profit.
Right.
Yep.
There we go.
Good job.
Okay. That's a nice warm and fuzzy thing to say. But the reality of it is expenses divided by all your time. Okay. All right. But that is the thing. All right. And if you do this thing right, you're providing real value.
Right.
Okay. When you do these things, provide value.
You can't be a hack and do that.
Right.
You can't. It's just not possible.
Right. Okay.
So.
But your customers pay for all this.
Yep.
Okay. So I had 10 for just a secure business. I had 10 to pay taxes. Okay. And then I added another 15%. That was our greatest discount. That was our member discount. By the way, all customers pay for all that couponing, all the stuff you're supposed to get free or 50% off. It's just marked up into another product.
It is.
Guys, all of us are paying. That's the game. Okay. So for those customers that you're giving, a membership to, and they're getting VIP discounting and that kind of stuff, all the other customers are paying for that.
Everybody pays for that.
Okay. So that's mixed into the hourly rate.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So divided by profit. Okay.
Okay.
Which gives you okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
All this up here. Okay.
Dun, dun, dun,
You're
dun.
honest. Hourly rate. There it is.
Yay.
Okay. That's it, guys. That's it.
Simple as that.
All right. Do that. Figure these things out. You can practically fall on your face and be successful. Okay. All right. But the majority are not doing this. Okay.
And the majority won't.
And the majority. That's right. Majority. I sadly I talk with guys that just won't do it
Do it.
because they listen to lies. My market My market won't pay that, which is a
Market,
lie.
I'm not worth it.
And it really comes down to
I'm a small company.
I'm not worth it. You know, I'm not going to charge that. We shop at Costco. I mean, I'm not.
Yep.
You know, I buy things in bulk. I mean, we won't. You know, and so it's that belief system.
Right.
Okay, that keeps you. But if you'll do this, you will be successful.
Yep.
Use profit to improve service, and your returns will compound. DW, you're right on, brother. That's what, you know. You got to make money that allows you to get that better equipment or to make that payment. I mean, you know, to buy the, you know, I do believe in financing. You can't run. No business is debt free. No successful business is debt free. Now there's smart debt and dumb debt. Okay.
Lynn says, class dismissed.
There we go. That's it.
And she probably likes it. It's all math, right?
Okay.
She's a math whiz.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Love it, baby.
And this is simple math.
Well, you gave a lot of good stuff away. As Chad just said, gold nuggets tonight, baby.
This is right here, guys. You don't need to, you know, you don't need to go to school. You don't need to go to another conference. You don't need to stop. I mean, it's all good. You know, those can be good things. You can learn a little stuff. But this is the thing right here.
It's a thing.
Okay.
It's the thing.
This is the thing right here. Just do it.
Hey, Jess.
Okay.
Mrs. Bees. What
Mrs.
did you call
Bees.
her earlier
The Queen
today?
Bee.
The Queen Bee.
The Queen Bee. All right.
I don't know if you heard that, Jess, but he does have a new nickname for you.
Okay.
Queen Bee.
The Queen Bee.
I like that.
All right. Well, there you have it.
Okay,
Okay.
that's it, baby.
Hey, if you want to know more about this
Yes,
and
TK says
the other
mic
things
drop.
to be successful with your plumbing business, I do make it very easy for you and extremely affordable. Yes.
do?
Yes, I do charge you something for it. Because what I hear?
What?
Those that don't invest wind up don't. You know,
Yeah, they
right.
Yeah,
You won't do it. Okay, you won't do it.
Drop
You
off.
won't do these things if you don't pay a little bit of something. But I make it so easy. If you can't afford, you know what's being charged, then you can't afford what's being taught. Okay, you're not in a position to take what's being taught and do anything with it. Okay,
Good, baby.
so but if you're ready to take to be a serious plumbing business entrepreneur, all right,
Yeah.
you need to check out my Success Academy.
Well, we have a pre-commercial, actually, before that. Refugio said, I signed up about a week ago and almost done with the first module. It's great and exactly what I was lacking. It's already helped me and my business. Can't wait for the second module.
Good for you, brother.
All right.
Walk through everything,
Love it.
Refugio. I mean, some of it's going to be fun, makes sense. Some of it's going to be boring. I mean, that's the thing, guys. Don't give up, okay?
give up.
And look, I piece it out. I'll be right front with you. I piece it out. Like you just mentioned there that he's waiting for the next module. Look, there is a lot, you know, to this, okay? And if I just dump it all out there for you, what will happen is you'll cherry pick the stuff that you feel comfortable about with, okay, and that's more fun to do. Which if you just do that, you know, it's like plumbing a house. You know, if you get right to the second rough but you didn't do the first rough, it ain't going to work, right?
It's not gonna work.
Your business works the same way, okay? So I piece it out for you to force you to go through the steps, okay? Also to make it easy for you. Look, you're probably still in the truck. You're working on these things. You got a life. There's so much information to just consume it. It can be overwhelming. It was overwhelming for me. So I created this because I know who I am, and we're probably a lot alike, okay? And so it makes it easy to be able to consume all these things, okay? So it's month to month. You finish the 12 months, okay? You will come out with more information and more powerful, more knowledgeable than a guy that comes out of business school.
It's true.
I promise you.
And you'll still have your own asset.
And it'll be your asset. In fact, you'll also be a certified professional plumbing business owner.
Yep.
Okay, you'll know everything you need to know. Okay, and create that freedom lifestyle, guys. That's what it's all about here.
Yep.
Okay, if I'm really speaking to you, you know, if you're a guy that wants to create an asset that provides income so you can really live the life that you want to live, okay, then we're on the same page because we're talking the freedom lifestyle here.
Yep.
Okay,
Hey, Kyle.
not
Can't wait to talk
you know,
to you.
I wasn't a guy that wanted to work every day in the business. I'm not an office guy. I didn't want to be in an office. Okay, I didn't want to be in the truck and I didn't want to be in the
Let's
office.
just be clear. You were never in the
No,
office.
I wanted to be on an island with my toes in the sand. All right, okay, under a palm tree. All right, next to the lovely Laura, looking at the turquoise water.
Yeah,
Okay,
baby.
that's what I wanted. Okay, and still do. All right, and if that sounds good to you, some form of that, then this is for you.
It is.
Okay, all right, and it will get you there.
Yeah. So,
All right.
okay. So, do you want to talk Success Academy? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Okay. Hit the button. All right, there it is. Okay.
Do it.
All right, over 150 50 hours of videos. Okay, 12 power-packed modules. Go through everything you need to know. All right, there's a flat rate book. All right, you have your own flat rate pricing. There's a pricing calculator. We do have live coaching calls. Okay, twice a month. Okay, where it's a live coaching class where we can have a conversation. You can bring your questions. Okay, it's all there for you.
Everything
all
is
right?
there. We got it all.
And right now you can check it out for free. 14-day free trial. Simply type success in the comments.
Yep.
All right. Hey, if you're serious, just do it. What's the risk?
Do it.
All right. And by the way, if you can't afford to do it, going further from there, I've made it so it's a no-brainer. You can't afford the information. Okay. All right. But you can do it. All right. Type success in the comments or go to themilliondollarplumber.com/success. Hey, it's been good to have you on board here. But I want to remind you before we let you go that you were purposefully and wonderfully created. And you were created to be successful.
Yes.
Plumb like a champion.
Thank you for tuning into Potty Talk Live with Richard Behney, the $1 Million Plumber. If you enjoyed this show, share it now. To catch past episodes and get alerts for new episodes, type 5 in the comment section now.
Just do it.
And join us again for more tips, techniques, and strategies to help you grow your plumbing business.